Nicholas Reece, as we look to election week next week and the poll that matters, as the Premier put it this week, it is a huge decision in the sense that this is a Labor Party and a government that has been in power for the best part, well, except for 4 years, the last 2 decades, essentially. So it's asking for another term. That is always difficult, isn't it, when you get to that sort of longevity?
Look, asking for a third term in a state election or a federal election or any election is really hard in Australia. You know, the longer you're in office, it's like you're fighting against the forces of gravity and eventually, you know, they get the better of you. But remember, it's a two-step question that people have to ask themselves. First, do I want to change? And then the second question is the alternative viable? And, you know, this IBAC referral today by Warwick Gately, the Electoral Commission, who has said he didn't receive full cooperation from the Liberals and those around this scandal involving Matthew Guy's Chief of Staff. That is particularly damaging for the opposition because Daniel Andrews is very much a known quantity. People know what they get with him. But with Matthew Guy, if you're trying to run against the Premier on integrity issues and then you yourself get referred to IBAC 9 days before an election, it is particularly damaging. So, look, I do think the polls are tightening, Kieran. I think it's going to be much tighter than
Do you think it could be a minority government?
Look, I think that's a distinct possibility. Obviously, the Labor starts with a huge electoral lead, 18 seats. Liberals have got so much ground to make up. They're going to lose some seats, so I cannot see how they're going to get there. But I do think a minority government is a distinct possibility, with some Liberal seats going teal and some Labor seats going green.
Is that your read too, Tony, given the 18-seat lead for Labor and given the prospect that the Libs will lose a couple, at least to the Teals, apparently?
Yeah, I think there's quite a few seats that are in play right now. Teals could pick up a couple of seats. They're very tight right now. Liberals' primary is sort of, punching around the 45-point mark. So, yes, they could lose a couple. But I think also Daniel Andrews wouldn't want to lose any more skin over the next 9 days. He had a shocking week last week. He got back onto front footing this week, but then, of course, the preference whisperer story yesterday, which has got a lot to run, and I think that's going to be running post-election as well. But I think a minority Labor government is looking like a very good thing at the moment.
Tony Barry, Nicholas Reece, gentlemen, great to see you. We'll see you next week as the countdown continues.